Hey everybody, it's Ron from Ron's Basement. Thank you, and most importantly, number one, you, for joining me today. I've got some great information for you. I think, pardon the pun, but a real nugget of information about two gold mining stocks, silver and gold mining stocks, and a comparison between these two companies, which will point out to you a blatant mispricing by the market of one of the company's stocks. So without further ado, the two companies I want to talk about today are, number one, Hecla Mining, that stalwart American silver mining company headquartered in Idaho. They've been around forever. They've been screwing up forever, seems like, over the last 15 or 20 years. Sorry, I'm giving away my little bit of my thoughts on this situation. And Company B, Fortuna Silver, headquartered in, I believe it's Lima, Peru. And both companies, Hecla and Fortuna, today, October 12th, I believe it is, 2021, both companies provided you and me with their third quarter production numbers, okay? And to me, these numbers, and when you look at a number of other factors as well, point out a blatant mispricing by the market of one of the company's stocks. Maybe one to the upside and one is mispriced way to the downside. So I'm going to show you my chicken scratch, and not a fancy graph, but a chicken scratch, which has provided me with a lot of profits over the years. Wink, wink. Okay, so let's just compare the two companies. Hecla produced 2.7 million ounces of silver in the third quarter. Fortuna, they produced 1.7, so about a million less ounces of silver. And Fortuna is in the process of moving more toward gold production, whereas Hecla has remained mostly focused on silver production. So, that kind of makes sense. They're in the same rough ballpark, right? Hecla, 2.7 million, Fortuna, 1.7 million. Let's go over to gold. Hecla, in the third quarter, produced 42,000 ounces of gold. Respectable, okay? Fortuna produced 65,000. So, what is that? About 50% more. So 42,000 gold for Hecla, 65 for Fortuna. Okay. So when I look at these numbers, these companies are kind of in the same bracket parameter in terms of size and whatnot. I figure Hecla, having produced a million more ounces of silver, they did 2.7 versus Fortuna's 1.7, using a rough silver price of $20 an ounce. In the third quarter, they're going to have $20 million more in revenue in the third quarter than Fortuna will, because they produced a million more ounces of silver. When you go to gold, Fortuna produced 23,000 more ounces of gold as compared to Hecla. Fortuna produced 65,000, Hecla produced 42,000. That translates at about a $1,700 gold price, which is a little low, but nonetheless, that translates into Fortuna having 40 million more in revenue from gold than Hecla did in the third quarter. When you net those two numbers together, Fortuna having 40 million more from gold and Hecla having 20 million more from silver, Fortuna comes out ahead by $20 million, okay? Now, here's the interesting part. When you look at the market caps of these two companies, and both of them, I didn't take a hard look at Hecla's balance sheet, but I know it's in much better shape than it was, let's say, 2 years ago. So let's just say that roughly their balance sheets are in the same condition. Neither company is kind of overburdened by debt or anything like that. So when you look at the market cap of the companies, Hecla, who's producing less revenue, okay, has a $3 billion market cap roughly this morning. Whereas Fortuna, who's bringing in more revenue and more profit at this point, has a $1.2 billion market cap. So, it's 2.5 times more, roughly. Hecla has a 2.5 times more market cap than Fortuna, which is ridiculous, especially when you consider some other factors. Number one, growth. Fortuna is getting ready to start construction on yet another new mine in Africa that's going to produce, I think it's like 130,000 ounces per year in gold. That'll be coming online in the next 2 years. Their Lindero mine in Argentina during the third quarter showed they're still ramping up this mine that they had to build. It's a tough mine to build to begin with, and then the COVID hit and everything else, and it is improving. Okay. I don't know what Hecla has on their table for growth. I have to be honest with you. I don't want to badmouth anybody, but I have never been very impressed with the management team at Hecla. I just haven't. Okay. And if you look at their track record, if it weren't for really great silver prices over the last year and a half, that company would be in big trouble. So, which brings me to my next point. When you compare the management of Fortuna to the management of Hecla, in my opinion only, there's no comparison. It's like comparing, Michael Jordan to me on a basketball court. There's no comparison. Okay. Final thing, and this is something that's definitely in Hecla's favor, so I'm going to be fair, is that there is more geopolitical risk with Fortuna than there is with Hecla. Fortuna's mines are in Argentina, Peru, Mexico, and they are one operating mine right now in Africa. And in the next couple years, like I said, there's going to be another operating mine in Africa. So, in all fairness, Hecla does have an advantage from a geopolitical perspective. They're mostly North America, Alaska, United States. But when you look at like the growth profile, and if you dig in and do a little work on your own, there's not much comparison. And Jorge Ganoza, hey, he's not perfect, right? But he has proven himself over the last 10 to 15 years to be an astute manager of capital, and that he looks out for stockholders. And, to me, when I look at these two companies, even if their market caps were the same right now, there'd be no question I'd put my money on Fortuna. But when you look at the fact that Hecla is currently valued 2.5 times higher than Fortuna, it makes no sense. It's a misprice. And when the market wakes up to the fact that Fortuna is a company that's going places, already has come a long way and will continue to grow in the future, that price disparity will be corrected, in my opinion, in the favor of Fortuna. Now, this is not investing advice, just my opinion. Don't buy, sell, adopt a puppy, leave your wife, whatever. Don't do anything based upon what you saw in my video. I just wanted to share my thoughts and share what I think is a kind of blaring, blatant misprice that's going on in the market right now. And if you're wondering about my new overalls, every good gold miner has a pair of overalls. And I will be making a video later today about these overalls. If you're interested, you can hear where I got them and what my thoughts are on them. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.